So Facebook, I'm not sure what you've done, but I had the settings. It was all set. Every time you started it, right here. Now we've got it. It's okay, Facebook. I won't let it go. Day 45. Oh, holy crap! All right, here we are. So tonight, all right, we're gonna build. All right. So I know you're taking notes and I know you're paying attention, but about 2 weeks ago, we did a sling drink. Wait, what am I? Oh, wait, no, not 2 weeks. One week? No, oh, one day. Things are going well. I'm on it, baby. I am on it. Yeah. 1 day ago, last night, right? We did the Singapore sling, and when we talked about it, I mentioned that was actually there was a precursor to the sling, and it was a punch. And I thought, what? Let's just get the damn thing out of the way. So we're doing it tonight. Pisco Punch. Pisco. I got you this time. And well, let's check it out. Come on, let's just go do it. And let's count how many times I say Pisco wrong tonight. I think every time I say it wrong, you gotta do a shot. Like quarantine, here we are. Quarantine cocktail show, here we are. Are you ready? So, I touched on the punch last night. So the punch is like that's where drinking came from, right? So when they had parties, they weren't mixing up and behind a bar like one at a time drinks, right? No, not like this. They weren't icing up glasses. They were doing punches. They would make giant bowls of punches. What's really funny is to read some of the stories about these parties. There was one they talked about in D.C., and it was on an election, and there were like, I don't know, they said 40 people, but they went through 70 punch bowls. And these are boozed up alcohol drinks, folks, all right? Well, anyway, the punch, where did it come from? Again, 1500s, different people say different things. One of the most common things you'll see is that they believe the word punch comes from the word punch, P-A-N-C-H, which is the Hindi word for the number 5. And that's because there are basically 5 ingredients in it. Here's how the little thing goes so you can remember. It's a poem. And it was not written by Hemingway. And it goes like this. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak. And then that's your punch recipe. So the 1 of sour would be, obviously your citrus, lemons, limes, whatever. The 2 of sweet would be some sort of sugar, simple syrup, whatever. 3 of strong, that's your whatever, whiskey, rum, whatever you're going to use, Pisco tonight. And then 4 of weak was typically always water. Paul, you have said this, and you're talking about 5, and you've only given us 4 things. Well, the 5th thing, that's why people kind of are question about this, but the 5th element, all right, not a movie, the 5th element was always something, a spice. So a lot of times it'd be nutmeg, bitters, something like that. So anyway, that was your 5 ingredients that made your punch. So let's talk about this one, because this, in its day, this was as big a punch as you can get, but they were serving at bars individually. Let me tell you how you get there. So let's talk about this drink. All right, Pisco Punch. Now remember, we already did Pisco Sour, and everybody loved it. Oh, Paul's the greatest drink ever. I love it. Oh, I drink it every night. Now we're going a little bit different with it. So the punch is a little different, right? So you got to go back to 1889. Parker's Bank Exchange Saloon. Does that not sound great? It's in San Francisco. And this is like the bar. This is the place to go. Now this place is in its heyday right now. You got gold rush going on, and you got all these ships. And remember, no Panama Canal, right? So what was happening is like things like Pisco, well, they'd have to come all the way around, South America. They'd have to come all the way around on their ships past Cape Horn. That's the very south tip of South America, and they'd load up and they'd pick up supplies, and they'd come all the way back up the coast, and then they'd head to San Francisco, port of, and they would drop this stuff off. So this stuff was everywhere. It was flowing. Anyway, so they were making drinks. This was a place to be. Now, there's 2 people that they talk about that made this drink. One was Professor Jerry Burns. Now, a lot of people say he was the owner of the Parker's Saloon, so that's why. But most people, though, if you really dig a little deeper, they're going to give credit to Duncan Nickel. And Duncan Nickel, he was a genius because he ended up buying the bar. But not only did he buy the bar, he bought the recipe for the Pisco Punch. Now, what do you mean he bought the recipe? If it's a punch, everybody knows it. No, this is where it gets real. See, there is a secret ingredient, and nobody knows what it is. To this day, they still talk about it. Now, you can get this drink. The only place you're really going to find it, though, is really out in San Francisco. If I've got anybody on here from California, you probably have heard of it. You may have had it. As everybody else, you probably not maybe had this. And there's all this controversy about what is the drink, what's the secret recipe and all that. Because I'll fast forward. Duncan Nickel ended up dying. Well, first of all, the bar. So this is 1889. He lived it up, ran with it, did everything. But in 1919, the bar basically was shut down. It made it through the Great Fire, made it through earthquakes. It was fine. Prohibition. Put him out. He ended up dying shortly after, and he took the recipe with him. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows what it was. They say, go into the basement and make a special concoction that would do this. So, all right, how do we make it? All right, it's pretty simple. There's not a lot in it. And we're going to make it, and then I'll tell you what the secret ingredient is. So, first of all, you need your Pisco. Sorry, guys, I'm getting it right tonight. I can screw it up. I'll try. 2 ounces. I'm making 2, so we're going to go a double on this one. Now, and you guys remember all about Pisco, right? Right? South America. This is the great stuff. Ours from Chile. This is a brandy made out of a grape wine. But what they do when they distill it, they do not age it. They're not allowed to. Well, they age it. They're not allowed to age it in wood casks. We already talked about this. I'm not telling you again. Rewind. Go to another episode if you have to figure it out. All right. So your Pisco. Now the next thing, we got to go sour. So let's put some lemon in it. We're going to go about 1 ounce. These are a little bit big, so I'll probably just do 1.5 because I don't want to kill the drink. Remember, fresh fruit, people. Always fresh fruit. Oh, man, if you could smell this lemon. This is good lemon. Oh. I will never have scurvy. True story. All right. Now the sweet. Now, I will tell you, this is where it gets a little crazy. Now, I'm going to tell you what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is get something that is called pineapple gum syrup. Now, basically, that is just a simple syrup made out of pineapple. And there's recipes. Go online, you can make it. It takes a night. You have to cook it, chill it, all that. I'm not doing it to you. The other thing you can do is you can just take pineapple juice and simple syrup, throw it in, 1 of each. We're going to try something a little different. What they also make is pure gum syrup. All it is it's simple syrup, but they use Arabic gum. I think that's wrong, gum Arabic. And what it does is it just gives it a more, as it's explained, it's a velvety mouthfeel. It just holds longer on the tongue, you know, it's like chewing gum, you know, and it really, they say, makes a big difference. So what we're gonna do is I've got pineapple syrup. So we're gonna kind of fashion our own. So what you need is 1 ounce total. So, and I gotta do 2 drinks. So I'm gonna go 1 full ounce of my pineapple. That was a 2, so I'm going to cut it short. And then we're going to go 1 of this. Now, the other thing we need is a spice. Now, a lot of them don't use spice. Some of them do, some of them don't. There's a million recipes for this. I'm going to use orange bitters. Now, this is Angostura orange bitters, not the herbal, but just pure orange bitters. A little different. Give it a few splashes. The last thing, and So Duncan Nickel, I believe, when he was going down in the basement and making up his secret stash, he was grinding up and making his own emergency. So emergency, thank you again. 45 nights, not one sponsor. We love you. And we're going to just sprinkle some of this right in. It's going to do wonders for this. That's it. Now, you're probably wondering, all right, Paul, I'm following all your ingredients. I didn't see you add any water. It's the ice. No. That's the other fun thing about this drink. The original, I almost said, the original Pisco Punch calls for Pisco. It calls for lemon juice. It calls pineapple, and it calls for bitters, and it also calls for, if you're making the punch, a large amount of water. So the original punch really does include water. This is a bar version, so you gotta bring it a little bit into the glass. All right, I can't feel my hand, so we know it's cold enough. Now, get rid of this ice. That'll work. A couple coops. Then we're gonna get a nice couple pieces of lemon. I just saw this one, I thought this was cool. Give it a little squeeze, and then we're gonna put that on there, and then we'll squeeze and put that on there. And there's your Pisco Punch. Now, how good is it? Before I tell you, I'll tell you one other thing about this. There are a lot of guys that wrote about this drink. No, for God's sakes, I tried, I looked, it was not Papa. I could not tie this one to Papa. But I'll give you another famous person, Rudyard. That's it. Rudyard Kipling, Jungle Book. He actually wrote about this, and here's what he said. He said it was compounds of the shavings of cherub wings that made this. So I don't write this crap up. I mean, this is what people said back then. I loved how they spoke. Now, well, let me try it. Oh, it's freaking so. But there were all sorts of other people that would. One of the things they said, it made you. It allowed a gnat to fight an elephant. That's another great quote. And it said, but anyway, here's what's really funny about it. The ultimate ingredient that some people actually think it was cocaine. God, historians have gone back and looked and said that what was possibly done is when when Nickel was cooking this up down in the basement, which already sounds like, a crack house, he was making this pineapple mixture, and nobody could ever quite figure out what that missing ingredient was. And it was rumored that at the time, cocaine was pretty prolific and people were using it in different ways, that he was adding cocaine to it. And that's why everybody freaking fell in love. And the other two things that make this very plausible. One, it was a very expensive drink. So this is Gold Rush. When you ordered this was you telling everybody, oh, look at me, I got money. Because at the time, if you do the calculations, the drink now would equate to about a $30 drink if you were to go to any normal bar today. That's what it was like back then. And so anyway, he made it. It was very expensive, and who knows? We did not put any cocaine in ours. But, and I don't know what shavings of cherub wings taste like, but if it's this, by God, that would get me some cherub wings. All right, I'm going to stop drinking it. Folks, it's day 45. Thanks for spending another evening with us. Sorry I said Pisco all night, not Pisco. So, there's your one. Go take a drink. Had a great night. Look forward to tomorrow night. Hey, you know what? I lose track of the days. I never know what it is, but I know what tomorrow is. It's Whiskey Wednesday. And by God, we got a good one for tomorrow. So, Enjoy your cocktail. I hope you have a good quarantine cocktail show evening. Chat with us afterwards. Love y'all. Good night.